post some proof.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Daddy, eye above.
Ah, there you are. I was expecting you 4 minutes and 27 seconds ago. But never mind that. I have a missive for you. Highest priority. Recipient's eyes only. All I can tell you is that it is from Arcadia's most judicious custodians, the Order of the Ascendant. I am not privy to any information beyond that. Oh, they did also say it was important. I was tasked 6 months ago to deliver it to whomever ship was at this landing pad at this exact time. Well, 4 minutes ago, like I said. All other questions may be answered by viewing the missive, I expect. Farewell, and as they say, may all your endeavors come to fruition. Best of luck to you.
Time to watch whatever it was the messenger had for us.
Is it me, or has my ankle been squeaking? You can hear it too, right? Must be the damn rotator again. Anyway, need something, Commander?
Greetings, Agent of the Earth Directorate. I am Ruth Bassar, presiding Bishop of the Order of the Ascendant. At this time, I can only presume you think us your enemy, directly responsible for your colleague Augustine de Vries' actions way back on Horizon Point. I assure you, we were not. A splinter group was behind that heresy. The collective of scientists and scholars I lead are committed to elevating humanity by pursuing a greater understanding of reality. I believe our goals are not incompatible. We both oppose the Protectorate, and we both wish to preserve Arcadia from ruin. We can help each other. I entreat you to speak with Abbot Newell. He can be found in Golden Ridge at Matriarch's Mercy. He will aid you in your mission, and hopefully, you will see fit to aid us in ours. Nav key coordinates to the Golden Ridge landing pad on Dorado are embedded in this message. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you.
The Order of the Ascendant awaits us on Golden Ridge, Commander.
Commander, the nav key coordinates supplied by the presiding Bishop of the Order have been verified. Landing in Golden Ridge is now possible. Additionally, we are also able to land in Free Market Station, due to the Astrogator's progress with the updates necessitated by its rebuild. Golden Ridge is located on Dorado. It is home to the Alexandra Monastery and Matriarch's Mercy, as well as previously being a center for mining Zeranium. The Protectorate abandoned it soon after the invasion, leaving Auntie's Choice and the Order of the Ascendant to fight for control of the area and its resources. Free Market Station is an independent marketplace, the only one in the system. It is called such as it was built out of a crashed Auntie's Choice freighter by that name. Agent Ibarra prioritized your recovery above pursuing Agent de Vries. This involved disassembling and rebuilding the Astrogator to allow the Incognito to travel to your location. As the rebuilding process progresses, old nav keys may be unlocked. Unfortunately, most of them are likely not recoverable.
Looks like the second choice has got a new shipment of swill. Gave it a try. Needs some aging, but not too bad.
What? I was just with Barney. He said we're not getting any new shipments for months. What did he let you try?
Well, I, maybe didn't run it by him. It was out of a big metal barrel behind the bar. It said Auntie's Finest Star Wipe on it.
That wasn't booze. That was ship wax.
Really? Barney should start selling it then. It's better than half his stock.
Do me a kindness and mosey on.
Sorry, got bootlegging to do.
Welcome to the true free market, friend.
This place ain't half bad. I've been to Can't tell if you're a fixer or need fixing.
Nice day for shady dealing.
Lose a piece of jewelry? Buy it back at a very reasonable price.
Under the impression that Free Market Station was open to all. Why am I being accosted?
Free Market Station is open to all, except spies. It's awful suspicious how you've been gallivanting about, asking everyone questions.
I am not a spy. The information I'm collecting here shall be of historical significance someday. Surely you can appreciate that.
Right. And I'm sure that information wouldn't help at all in clearing us out of the station years from now. I'll be watching you.
Greetings. Are you perhaps interested in advancing the knowledge of Arcadia's history through scientific exploration? What am I saying? Of course you are. Please, do tell me anything you might know about the crash of the ACS Free Market. Do pardon my forwardness. I saw that you were a new arrival, but I held out some hope that you might be able to enlighten me where the station populace has not. As an archivist, it's my duty to collect and record hitherto unrecorded knowledge wherever it can be found. But my earnest questions have been met with suspicion. You're correct. Unfortunately, I'll take that question to mean that I can't interview you for more information. Fiddlesticks. If some independent preservationist would be willing to assist me in discovering the truth, I certainly would appreciate it. That's great. I can offer you a stipend from my exploratory budget for anything you might manage to discover. converse with the locals, peer into unturned corners, and see what your able hand might unearth. I look forward to furthering the cause of history with you. I'd ask about in the saloon and the bazaar. Both are places where gossip flies about like so many tarot rays. Sub Rosa likely has some information about the crash, but I'm not sure where. You also might be able to find some intact portion of the ship amidst all of the station's wreckage. Take a look around. I'm sure you'll be able to get farther on your own. Greetings! How has the data collection... Greetings! What am I saying? Of course, as an archivist, it's my... If some independent preservation... Converse with the locals. So, take a...
Yeah.
You just bought a shooter from not a weapons store, right? How's it treating you?
It ain't. Can't eat the sprats I shoot with it. Since they keep disintegrating.
Ah. Did you ask Dowlern for a replacement?
Nah. Instead, looks fierce. Actually put those to people.
Buy from me?
Listen, I know I shouldn't warn you about this, but anything I sell you runs the risk of exploding. I trust you'll appreciate my forthrightness and be all the more willing to buy from me. No. ships decidedly ain't in my purview. You sure I can't interest you in some bric-a-brac instead of this conversation? You can tell? Damnation. Sounds like you know what it's like working with technology. Maybe I can confide in you. Before it crashed, I served on the free market as a secondary engineer, first grade. Had a colleague who was very talented, but not very good at hiding it. The supervisor saw her as a threat and demoted her to the engine room. She wasn't the type to take a blow without dodging. In Auntie's choice, there's politics among waste technicians. My colleague sabotaged the engines when her partner was on his mandated 2-minute break. When the free market attempted to breach orbit, well, just about everyone died. I made it to an escape pod on the port side. The ship landed on its starboard. I got lucky. Yeah, me too. Anyway, can we get back to subjects that aren't this? I got goods to sell. Well, none taken. I never intended to be. But when life breaks your jaw and shoots out your knees, may as well learn to get good at crawling, right? My contraptions don't explode no more. Honest.
Remember, nothing's a crime if you never get caught.
Meals currently sold with both salt and pepper. Available today only. Welcome to our stall. We hope this is the first meal you ever have in your life. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Negative. This unit and stall are registered to Gerald T. Wenrich. Mr. Wenrich last visited 222 days ago. When last seen, Mr. Wenrich mentioned he was, quote, going to teach those, redacted, sub rosa, redacted, a lesson. Nobody extorts Gerald T. Wenrich.
You need coveralls, we got coveralls. Auntie's Choice thanks you for... never mind that, sorry. Force of habit. If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, I can provide. Used to be part of Auntie's Choice. Nothing special, just a pilot for light cargo vessels. Had a lot of time to think, with just the void for company. Eventually decided I was sick of being overworked and underpaid, and made off with my cargo. Turned out to be generic clothes, work gear, and such. More of a market for it out here than I would have guessed. I've bolstered my wares since. You should give them a look.
Doctor here. Get your stitches. You've timed your visit well. I finished sharpening my organ-cutting knife mere minutes ago. If you've wounds that need stitching or teeth that need scrutiny, I'm your doctor. Yes? Is this a problem? I'm the only doctor on Free Market Station. I think that excuses whatever quirks I may or may not have. My prior faction demanded I strictly adhere to my vocation and forego the world of dentistry, under penalty of death after a certain number of infractions. Suffice it to say, I'm pleased Free Market Station allows me to be myself.
Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Come to Not a Weapons Store. Think I misplaced a hand grenade. We'll know in a couple seconds if it's armed or not. Browse all you like. Everything I've got is fine-tuned to perfection. That's privileged information, friend. If you want it, you're going to have to kill me. Just jesting. Although if you did want to kill me, I've got many finely priced perforators tuned to do just that. Perhaps you'd be inclined to take a look at my wares? Hey, browse all you like. I'm glad you asked. Weapon is an all-encompassing term. A rock can be a weapon, or a stick, or a particularly agitated sprat if you have thick enough gloves. But what I sell here, I wouldn't dare lump them in with mere weapons. These are finely tuned instruments of personnel elimination. You have my guarantee. My equipment for annihilating one's foes will never fail on you. Full disclosure, my guarantee is not guaranteed.
Anybody even listening to this? Let me sell you stuff.
Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Buy some new armor today. Only thing dependable as my gear are my prices. Happy to have you. Tell me what you need. Booming now. Used to be a few other armor shops on the station. As it happened, their owners mysteriously vanished. I picked up their inventories real cheap, since they were just taking up station storage. It sure was a convenient windfall for yours truly. Real convenient. Exactly. I wish some other sorts around here who like to cast aspersions were as understanding as you. If you lost it, I'm selling it.
Stimulants, medicaments, drugs. Get your drugs here.
I'm beginning to reach the tail end of my patience. You will tell me the location of the broker.
Lad, you ain't got much of a concept of a deal, do you? You ain't got nothing to offer, and a threat is offering less than nothing.
You realize any other arbiter would have crushed you where you stand for obstruction of justice long before now? That I am flowing with magnanimity?
Can't say I know what that word means, but if you're inclined to keep threatening me, only thing gonna be flowing is your blood out your body. Stranger, seen my fix? Hope you're about to offer to rid me of this damn fool.
You cannot dissuade an arbiter from their sovereign-given duty, no matter how much of an irritant you may attempt to be. I came to meet with the information broker for, protectorate business. Protectorate reasons. However, I find myself foiled at near every turn. None within the Protectorate would defy an arbiter and expect to live. Regrettably, I cannot make the locals see reason without rendering myself unable to learn what I seek.
Even polite entreaties don't see most getting an invite to the broker, and you've been anything but.
I am hardly bending the rules, as you so put it, as we arbiters may operate however we see fit. I appreciate the observation, however. Hardly expected such from an outsider.
Say whatever you want, but trusting this fella even this close to the broker is a massive risk. Be a damn fool to take him at his word.
You suggest a partnership? An arbiter working closely with a third party is unheard of. But I suppose if I've no choice...
Interesting thought. Occurs to me there might just be something that needs looking into. Within the Golden Ridge locale on Dorado, there's a refugee camp. It's unassuming, quiet-like. Most of the folks there just want to be left alone. They see to the few needs they have by working with the broker. But we ain't heard from them in a fortnight and change. Serves to reason something untoward may have transpired there. You see your way to looking into that, maybe we'll talk. That's between them and Sub Rosa. You in or you out? Great! Take the lap-caned with you. I've had enough of his excitability, and so have my customers.
I don't claim to be pleased with the circumstances surrounding this co-investigation, but perhaps we may surprise one another. I'm Arbiter Tristan Rao.
When I was an apprentice, yes, but not since. And certainly never with an outsider.
I shall meet you at the camp. Let us hope we both arrive there intact. I shall see you at the refugee camp.
Greetings again. Hope that little day excursion you and I jawed about is going well. Libations or information? What's your poison? If you were running a less than legal group, would you want everyone knowing your agents' identities? I don't think so. Lots of folks in Sub Rosa have friends and family elsewhere. Auntie's Choice and the Protectorate predominantly, but some order. If their identities somehow got out, those friends and family are suddenly going to look like much juicier targets. It's safer for everyone this way. Always. For example, there's some kind of hoity-toity collector type parked upstairs. Supposedly, she's willing to sell some of her collection if you impress her. Laws.
Oh, come now, Prospero, you've been on that stage hundreds of times. This perturbation looks bad on you, and you're not one for looking bad. Terribly sorry you've got me ruminating. A man of my persuasion shouldn't stoop to such self-deprecation, especially in front of prospective customers. You've identified me properly. But information transference is the lifeblood of Free Market Station, and if you want a transfusion, you'll have to grant me a spot of help. I'm in charge of keeping the patrons of the saloon entertained. Normally this does not present an issue, but I learned that an old flame of mine shall attend my next performance. My resolve is uncharacteristically flagging. I find myself fixating on the most minute of issues. I need something to bolster my confidence. Liquid courage has never failed me, but I have a discerning palate. The automech chef in the bazaar sells my preferred brand of alcohol, though it can be headstrong. You see, I can't just drink any old swill from the bar. My refined palate can only stomach one drink. Iceberg-aged whiskey. Something of a collector's item, I'm told. Now, if you'll excuse me, an artist must be granted solitude to properly amass his mental forces. As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being nervous does not, in fact, help one not be nervous. I've been better. I've been worse. Preparing for either extremity.
Another challenger approaches. Prepare to be sent weeping from my curio collection. None have defeated my collections, and none shall. But I do so delight in a competition. Are you prepared to do battle? The Spectrum Dance Saber, a prototype weapon of Auntie's heyday. I shan't spoil its implications, not unless you prove your worth. Cards, my dear, of the toss ball and pitch ball variety. I must see if your collection bests my own. Sporting! Let us do battle! Ha! What is this pitiful display? Are these your rarest cards? Get them out of my sight! You have nowhere near the number in my collection. I cannot open my wares to any unless their collections rival my own. I hope you understand. Feel free to return once you have bolstered your ranks, but know that you shall still not defeat me. Back. If you seek entry to my wares, you must engage me your sports card collection, though you shall not prevail.
My gear has the fewest holes out of any
Error. If you became violently ill after eating here, please feel free to write our stall an angry letter, then burn it. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Yes, iceberg-aged whiskey is currently on reserve for Prospero Paulo. Current customer is not Prospero Paulo. Unit cannot vend to current customer. Scanning error. Cannot ascertain identity of current customer. Purging all vending restrictions. Eliminating one restriction. Vending iceberg-aged whiskey complete. Thank you for your patronage. Shop here to acquire fine.
If you've a tooth pain, you know who to visit.
As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being my friend. Excellent. Thank you. Very well, you wish to know about the crash, yes? Are you prepared for a sordid tale of drama and woe? Everyone knows that the free market's captain was a hopeless romantic, especially disposed to giving too much of her heart to those inclined to break it. The final betrayal came from a dashing rogue smuggler who vanished with most of her bits. The good captain had about all she could endure. Indeed she did. The crew attempted to wrest the controls from her to save them from their fate, but alas, too late. That's all I know. I thank you for your help once again, and now I must get ready for my set.
Greetings. How has the data collection fared? That's hardly surprising, considering the station's predilection for gossip. So long as you provide us the information, we can parse through it and decide fact from fiction. Are you prepared to present what you have learned? Greetings. How has finally a breakthrough? Let's hear it. How did the ACS free market meet its end? Sounds like it was likely due to basic engineering ineptitude. Goodness, I wonder how their ships can fly at all with such incompetent technicians. Aside from the crash, what occurred in the ship's final moments? That's idle speculation. I'd be laughed out of Laplace's garden if I included an information point like that. I'm striking it from the record. Last question. Were there any contributing factors to the crash? Anything that might recontextualize what actually happened? Failing to recognize ability? Seems Auntie's choice is forgetting where upward enters into the phrase upward mobility. This report is going to bear some glaring absences, which is unfortunate. Still, I wouldn't have been able to get this far without your help. Here's something for your time. It would have been more if I'd been able to complete this, but there's nothing for that now. Auntie's choice seems to be inundated with its own problems, technical and personnel alike. We should have ample opportunity to use this for propaganda purposes. You should have said so. Here's something extra from my stipend. Now I need to get this report to my superiors. Thanks again. Thanks for your help.
Latest countdown came in. Feels like the hall.
Careful now. Oh, you sure haven't lost any of your boundless energy.
That must be Matriarch's Mercy. Sure think a lot of their royal family, don't they? Lord, damn, what was that? There ain't been active fighting here in I don't even know how long. We've got bases down there. If one of them got hit, then that strike will be the first of many.
Is commendable, passenger. Please continue waiting quietly until the next tram arrives. The plan can wait. Our lines will not.
This station must have really been something before the war made its home here. Things escalate. Might never be something again.
Stay vigilant. Report any suspicious activity to your nearest station warden. Attention, you are running 21,020 hours late for your tram. Please be mindful of your departure in the future.
Folk were hunted down here. Wonder how long they held out before.
Day 206.
Best not to think about it.
Morale? Low. Condition? Feeble. Voucher mech. Watching. Always watching. Many have left for Matriarch's mercy, seeking refuge with the Order. The fools. Can't they see the Order is no different from the Protectorate? The Order won't...
Incessant muttering to oneself may disturb fellow passengers. Further
Unless you're bent on exploring,
may warrant
best we hoof it over to
notification
Matriarch's
of
Mercy and meet with that Abbott
you
Bassard
doddering
mission.
rattlesnake. Such threats compel me no longer. I now answer to no one. I've seen through the lies of both sides. In time, everyone will.
Unwarranted optimism may be a sign of a more serious imbalance. Please see a before boarding.
Stranger, the Order bids you welcome, but also warnings. In light of the recent attack on Auntie's Choice, you may want to make haste to Matriarch's Mercy. It's just down the road here.
So it was one of our bases that got hit. Well, I'm gonna be sick.
I can't rightly say, and that is rather concerning in its own right. It seems our temporary ceasefire with the corporatists may be at its end. Yes, this was an active war zone until recently, and now seems like it may be so again. Not quite certain why the attack was launched, but that is not under my purview. I'd surmise that when Auntie's Choice realized they couldn't get through our defensive measures, they wisely chose the path of diplomacy. Seems I was mistaken.
Well, it weren't our artillery that made that strike. I can tell you that much.
They must have done something to provoke an attack, which is why your safest path now is the one that leads to Matriarch's Mercy. The Order controls everything south of this point, but the rest is beset with various dangers. Zealots, scavengers, creatures, and corporatists. Well, not certain about that last one anymore after the attack. Cultists, mad to the last one. I believe they worship the rifts or some such. People will turn to anything to ease their discomfort during times of crisis, I suppose. They're both unstable and violent. Auntie's forces call them scrappers, and uses them for just that, gathering scrap materials. Excessive abuse of stimulants has made them severely unbalanced and prone to violence. They've also been known to pose as refugees, to lure their victims into ambushes. There are several camps of them northwest of here. I'd strongly advise keeping your distance. The creatures are of the genus Verachnid. They are large enough to kill a full-grown human, and exceedingly willing to do so.
May all your endeavors elicit expected results.
Is it bad that, despite being in the middle of
we
a
were
war,
getting here in time for
I'm
a
quite
ceasefire, but
excited to see
instead we
Matriarch's
got
Mercy?
whatever that was falling out of the sky.
You may cease your search for complete lunchtime fulfillment, for it has arrived. You are welcome.
Think they'll notice we jumped the queue?
Another refugee? Just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's Mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations. How coincidental. I, too, had a pet sprat, also named Sprysander. Once, long ago. Oh, how I loved him. Fine, you may enter. And cherish your beloved pet. Hold him close. Welcome to Matriarch's Mercy. Rule number 1, no crowding. Rule number 2, avoid the exclusion zone. Our seer has predicted non-specific imminent danger. I thought the name was self-explanatory. Our seer predicted that a corner of the encampment is in terrible danger. Danger from what? Or when? Unclear. Stay away from it, and, in all probability, you won't have to find out. Safety and probability are incompatible. Eventually, nowhere will be safe, including here. Not at present, but according to our predictions, the creation of a third rule is likely, if not inevitable. Our predictions spring from the universal equation, the very numbers that guide the stars. Only a fool ignores probability, and we don't suffer fools around these parts. That's enough questions. Keep the line moving. You need anything, talk to Seer Wiley. He's in the lift building, straight through the settlement.
I remember this place before the...
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish.
I swear, it's nigh on impossible to find decent animal remains in these parts.
Oyster is looking pretty good right about now.
A wasteland devoid of life? And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Oh, doesn't everyone have that memorized? It's 1.77245385. Ah, I see you were making a jest and/or attempt at conversation. Anything else? Typically, no. And it has been somewhat challenging focusing my concentration. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare might be useful. An illustrative way for our guests to see how we operate. To show how the crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate formula and a conflux of polynomial equations. I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. I am sure they bear any inconveniences with grace and dignity. I mean, the statistical jump correlated to residents within Matriarch's Mercy has some pretty compelling numbers. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors. Longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get. If we factor for random elements offsetting certain key variables, upsetting the mock apple cart, as it were, we start to grasp the potential range of disruption.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish.
Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep your distance. Well, that is the idea. I've gotten sick at least a dozen times since we set up camp. Why, last week alone, I caught hack lung, sprat tongue, skinny teeth, and a rare case of mortified skull emergence. What are you, a doctor? Figured I might as well get used to being sick. So I'm practicing for my next disease. It's gonna be a nasty one. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. But me especially.
Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders, it never ends. You too. Trust me, you don't want to catch this. Neither do I, for that matter. I think I'll try not to sneeze on you, but...
How long are we meant to stay here?
Ask the Order. I'm not in the prediction business.
Broke my I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? I won you one, right? Matters settled.
The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now.
You used at least 2 words I ain't sure I know. And I already forgot the question. No? I think.
You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains in this... What does she call it? Oh, yeah. Quasi-illicit shenanigan.
Doesn't like to look at us when we're all banged up. Said my face turned her off Borscht loaf.
Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you. My noggin sure is sore.
Oh, my aching head.
Since the schism, the Protectorate have rewritten history to exclude our teachings.
Whoa. Haven't seen this many folks crammed together since Recall Libations Night at the Thruster.
Thus, if
Smells
we
about the same,
compare the
too.
rates of dust accumulation inside the settlement to outside,
My soup is nutritionally calculated to sustain all bodily functions, but it could use a little salt.
By calculating the position of every atom in the universe, we can predict the future, control reality, and ascend to a state of virtual godhood. Apologies, outsider. As a vicar, I am usually tasked with guiding non-order lay people, such as yourself. Lately, the abbot has tasked me with the education of the refugees in our care. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't need an abacus to predict your path lies elsewhere. Well, if it's in the displaced's best interests, I imagine I can find a moment. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying, and the wide array of bodily noises they make. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I've begun daily lectures, including practical advice on efficiently planning their days. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite topic, math, and meticulously expatiate on our sex origins in the most rigorously pedantic detail. Oh, dear. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? That's an occupational hazard around here. As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have a 13.7% increase in overall quality of life. I am single-handedly making a difference here, with constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on order history, plus some mathematics for a little added razzle-dazzle. Never as many as I would like, perhaps, but my little congregation grows by the hour. Eventually, my unsophisticated layperson friend, the knowledge just seeps right in. Give it a few years and they'll even be asking questions. The paradigm is the grand plan is the predetermined order to the entire universe. We can...
Shame what happened there. I seen the whole thing. Watch yourself if you intend to nose around that collapsed ramshackle. I swear, Refugee settlements aren't what they used to be. Oh, yeah. Duarte. He's former aunties like me. He was underneath for a few hours. Or, no, that was before. This time it was Rollo Nast? No. Gert Valkenburg. Happens a lot. People here need more room to breathe. Can't build in the walkways, can't set up in the exclusion zone. So they build up. Best they can, at least. Don't have proper building material or nothing. They just make do. After a while, the stacked up little huts they jury-rigged come tumbling down. Oh, you put that together, did you? Here, I thought I was being subtle. Yeah, people keep at it. What else choice they have? Order won't listen. Maybe if we interspersed our requests with numbers, they'd pay attention. Seems like all they care about sometimes. They're doing something, which is better than nothing, but not by much. Go on. You take care now. You hear?
Ruth Bassar is the first
What
among
happened to
equals
this
of
place?
the Laureate Council.
Law.
She will
Matriarch's mercy is no safer than the trenches.
We're not going anywhere.
I predict
Not
that
on the
the worst
basis
is
of
behind
some
us.
half-baked prediction.
Please keep your behavior
This
within
so-called
acceptable parameters.
exclusion zone is where we stake our claim. Stand with me in defense of freedom.
Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look you got about you. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. Tell me. Cheers to that, friend. When war looms its ugly head, adaptation is key. May Huffstutler, formerly Auntie's Choice, Department of Invasive Marketing. Now, the voice of the displaced. That's what those in the Order call me, leastways. An unofficial sobriquet, likely meant as a petulant slight. On account I object. Louder. More often than the rest. Those of us ended up here have very little except needs. I turn those into demands for reasons of clarity and import. Some are former Auntie's Choice like me. Some were abandoned by the Protectorate. All of us have been displaced by conflict somehow, directly or otherwise. Happy as I am to make your acquaintance, I'm busy staking our claim over the exclusion zone, so if you'll excuse me. The exclusion zone. The Order has decided to keep us out thanks to some nebulous prediction of disaster. Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them. Chance of life-threatening peril from a yet-to-be-determined catastrophe were the administrant's words. Not what I would call specific. I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or may not occur. I couldn't get anywhere with Administrant Agarwal, but maybe you'll have better luck. Even the Order, for all of their logical ways, value an outside perspective. And because I've run out of options. I got a pretty fancy gun I was issued back when I was a rising star at Auntie's. Side with us, and it's yours. Even throw in a healthy amount of bits for your troubles. Thanks, stranger. Maybe fate's on our side for a change. You can find Agarwal in the lift building. Probably formulating another equation to get on my nerves. I could use a break from fighting injustice. Vexing. We're at the mercy of the Order, and the Order is at the mercy of their predictions. Not to insult our gracious hosts, but these people don't wipe themselves unless an equation tells them to.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation will improve in time.
Stop it with the predictions. You don't even know multivariable calculus.
Just trying to cheer you up.
Word to Wise? don't accept anything here that's given for free. You'll pay, one way or another.
Whatever you're selling, I am not.
You got business? No? Move on. You the fixer lent your aid to Agent Galloway? Don't suppose you got that crawling hibiscus she promised to sneak me, huh? Forget it. You can come in.
Greetings. What can I help you with? Let me guess. One of your co-occupants is always hanging up his or her britches in your corner of the yurt. Am I right? Or you're dealing with more of a stay off my palate or that's my air you're breathing sort of thing. Pray elucidate the exact nature of your tiff of contention. Oh, really? Like they strung a few words together in a row and it all made sense? That's a marked improvement on earlier. Guessing they left out a bunch, though. Here in Matriarch's Mercy, if you're not a member of the Order, you're probably living close to somebody else. In some cases, sleeping on top of them. Sort of thing tends to cause friction between neighbors. Would lead to fights, but nobody here wants trouble with the Order. So they hire our hooligans to battle by proxy. Half the time, people shy away at the first sight of blood. The other, that's what they're there for. We say whoever wins the fight wins the argument. But frankly, it's never anything of consequence, like, okay, hurrah! This guy gets back his mangy button. Now, how can I help you exactly? Ugh, a tourist. Well, clear out then, huh? Can't have you scaring off real customers. I got a bunch of yeggs, 2 pugilized pugilists, and a cicanid to feed. Don't make me call Mapother and Mudge over. They don't like no fighting for free. Go on, get out of here. Scram!
Don't do anything foolish. Hello. You're the one that aided us in availing Sub Rosa of a rather large shipment of Spectrum vodka, yes? Agent Galloway is slightly less trustful than most feral canids, so winning her over speaks volumes of your character. Consequently, I'm pleased to present you purchase access to my fine wares. It's fortunate you're no stranger to contraband. It's superb cover and a consistent market. Refugees are in need of all sorts of supplies that the Order cannot provide, and Sub Rosa delivers at only a reasonable markup. Myself, I enjoy the thrills of the environ. Will the Order attempt to drive me out? Will Matriarch's Mercy be shelled? Shall I run out of new cereals? Oh, thrilling! Why, I thank you. Takes a unique sort to appreciate the finer points of illegal smuggling. We stand that we'd like to make a good ton of bits on the war, and maybe expand our reach in the process. Beyond that, I'm not supposed to comment. But Sub Rosa consists primarily of ex-Anti's Choice and ex-Protectorate personnel. We've still got folks we care about out there. Complicates some of our feelings on the fighting. But if the fighting stops, our income begins to go dry. Might I supply you with this day? Savvier than you look. Might be that I've got an agent over by the Guardian Estates that I haven't heard from in a spell. If you perhaps find yourself over that way, and perhaps make sure that the aforementioned agent hasn't been torn limb from limb, Sub Rosa would be most grateful.
Guns cocked and loaded. Let's get the signal.
That is what... You're gonna have to hold it in, friend. Privy's out of order. Never fear. I'll get that clog moving soon enough. They don't call me the pipe doctor for nothing. Shucks. Why, if I hadn't just been wrist deep in sewer water, I'd shake your hand. The notion of a pipe doctor stems from the belief and understanding that plumbing and the human body are fundamentally very similar. It's true. Whether over porcelain or metal, flesh or blood, we all take the same oath of service. It's like I've always said, a doctor is a biological plumber, exploring the unknown and unseen depths of the human body. And what is the human body but one long, wet, interconnected pipe? Take it from the pipe doctor. We're all just tubes down to the core. Everyone needs a plumber eventually. Your time will come, my friend. Until then, make sure and get... Now, what can the pipe doctor do for you? Just fine, thanks. Tough nut to crack, but I like a challenge. Clogged toilets are nature's way of keeping us humble. A reminder that for all of our civilized ways, we are only as great as our basic functions. Always remember, good plumbing starts in the bowels.
This war cannot come to a conclusion soon enough.
This is the no man's land lookout post.
Assignment in
Ironically,
proximity
not
to
much to
those
see
trees,
here.
even more unbearable than his temper.
Liquidate 'em!
Drop their bones!
Coming for ya, lazy bones!
Ready to take the heat off, Commander. Just things like... Looks like we're in for a hike. Tristan, you know what would make this climb better? Being shot. When even scavengers are falling on hard times.
Let me handle this!
Though these Arcadians do appreciate the fine wind.
Man's is back up for grabs. Here's to the next residents being above felony.
So you did come. Good. I'm not partial to working with those given to second thoughts. It seems we arrive on a desolate scene. I don't know what transpired, but whatever it was killed the refugees to a person. As an arbiter, I bear a strong stomach. But if you've any reservations about witnessing destruction visited upon the innocent, you'd best steel yourself. I've some theories on the refugees' killers, but I remain unsatisfied. Although I am not required to do so as an arbiter, I would care to acquire proof. We operate under the Sovereign's indefatigable will, thus we do not need proof. But my training was somewhat unique in that it emphasized the value of thorough investigation. Let us comb the remnants of this charnel house. I cannot help but feel a pang for these people, cut down without a hope of defense. We must uncover what transpired here. As an apprentice, I was taught to see investigations through to their completion. Evidence begets evidence and can lead one to uncover further criminal elements. Any further interest is purely academic. Very well. What sort of life was this, without the Sovereign's guidance? Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? Let's hear it. I doubt it factored in their inadequacy in the face of a superior force, assuming there was a superior force. The distinct lack of automechanical corpses around us supports your point. It seems the defenders did not defend. Did you have anything else? Very well.
Can't get that Andy's Choice jingle out of him anyway. Need something, Commander?
can't say I'm thrilled about aiding an arbiter, especially considering he ain't been forthcoming about his motives. Hope it don't come back to bite us. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander?
These people could have been saved. They simply hadn't deviated from the paradigm. Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? You've been busy. What did you find? An encampment such as this normally would possess no means for long-band communications. Was there anything remarkable about it? Good observation. Suffice it to say, the Protectorate would not take kindly to such a theft. Did you have anything else?
Anyway, need something, Commander? Oh yeah? What's needling you?
Commander, you got a minute to talk? I got some thoughts on this situation with the refugees. The number of folks seeking refuge from the war is, well, it's beyond what I expected. And beyond what the Order is capable of handling, seems like. Andes may not be faring much better here, but we could at least find enough work for these folk to buy some food. You sure? The Order seems a whole lot more concerned with dazzling the populace with numbers than anything else. It's a tough situation, that's all I'm saying. But if the Order can't even manage tens of folk at their doorstep, they ain't gonna manage much better should they win the war. I make a point of not leaving those slow on the uptake behind. I went through this myself when Anti's Choice took over Tau Ceti. It took time to secure the merger, but once they did, we folk got the help we needed real quick. And all they wanted in return was the signing of an employment contract. Now, I ain't seeing any contracts in Matriarch's Mercy, so what is the Order actually gaining by doing this? The thought has crossed my mind, though I reckon we might have seen concrete proof of that by now. Anyhow, if the Order is in fact helping these folk with no hidden aims, then, well, I'll be the first to admit that there might just be merit in what they're selling. Appreciate you hearing me out. How personal are we talking? If this new graft fails, you mean? Then I keep pushing forward till I can't anymore. You didn't see me when I first got out of surgery and came to Paradise Island. The fact that you and I met at all is a testament to Doc's skill. But suppose if her treatment doesn't stick, then maybe it's my time to go. You can only cheat death so many times. You know that as well as I do. Oh, I couldn't even tell you who that doctor was or where they're stationed. Grafting was a procedure in its infancy, see? So corporate like to keep things hush-hush. Can't say I like the thought of it. Could have been cut open in the middle of a cave for all I know. I'd rather not dwell on those moments, if it's all the same to you. What matters is the here and now. Fine by me? Yeah, figured you might. I want to say up front that I got nothing against you or your crew. Ain't one to judge the firearm by its plating. And so far, you ain't given me reason to doubt your character. But the Earth Directorate itself, it's got much to answer for. The Earth Directorate swore a promise to every colony out there. That if you plea for help, help will come. Maybe not immediately, but you know, maybe sometime this decade. But that's all a heap of shit. You know how many of us in Tau Ceti tried to send messages? And when that didn't work, how we begged the stars for the Earth Directorate to save us? They never responded. Never showed up. Not when I was a child, certainly not by the time Auntie's Choice came around. You ask me, you're selling folk a lie. I know that. I see you doing all you can to help folk. Look, I ain't holding you to account for the Earth Directorate's ills. No more than anyone would hold me to those of Auntie's Choice. We're our own people. No matter how often I'm hit in the face with that fact, with you, with Ethel, it's rather easy to forget at times. But talking through this reminds me. And I appreciate it, Commander. Nor do I. Fine by me? Not great. It was a mining colony under Spacer's Choice. Didn't have much, but my parents worked hard to ensure we had shelter and a warm meal every day. They're good folk. I love them. But I don't think they ever quite grasped how bad things were before Auntie's Choice came. They warned me not to join up, you know. Said we'd all get burned if we put too much stock in the promises of this foreign corporation. But I'd rather take a risk on them than be resigned to how things were. No, not at all. But I ain't sure my folks oppose them now. They have good jobs and a roof that doesn't leak. The ones who didn't adjust, however, was our management. Some of them tried to cut a deal. Company secrets in exchange for an entry-level administrative role, and made it out okay. But most violently opposed the takeover, and that ain't hypothetical. Reckon a bullet in the gray matter was more palatable than being forced to the bottom rung. Says it all, really. Our colony was isolated, which meant our Spacer's Choice overlords could do as they saw fit. Everyone lived in squalor, save for a select few. We were little more than workhorses. Those of us at the bottom only found joy with our families, our friends. But love alone can't get you through the toughest, darkest winters. I miss the sunsets, and my folks, though I know they're well taken care of nowadays. But that's about it. Most of my friends joined up when I did, so we took our community with us. Leaving my hometown itself, it was an eager farewell. Though there is one person I keep thinking of, the grandpa who lived next door, Vincent. He used to draw posters and ads for Spacer's Choice. He had style. Of course, that didn't last. Age caught up and his hands started failing him. Couldn't draw, couldn't lift heavy objects, could hardly walk without exerting himself. And in Tau Ceti, if you couldn't work, you didn't get ration cards. We shared what we could with him, of course, but what we got already wasn't much. Last day I saw him, he refused the half-salt tuna can I tried to give him. Said it was him lending me his strength. He was gone the next day. We searched all over, then realized he must have wandered off into the wilderness, not wanting to be a burden. We never found him. Can't hardly open a tin without thinking about him now. So if you're wondering why I still hold a candle for Auntie's Choice, after everything, it's because I know had Auntie arrived just 4 months earlier, Vincent might still be alive. It's been years now since I talked about it. He was a good man. He deserved better. So did the rest of us. Anyhow, ain't meaning to talk your ear off. Fine by me? Was bad. Where? Look, I know we're under pressure to speak with the Abbot, Commander, but it wouldn't be right to not see if we can help any of those troopers straight away. Real glad you found a way to mitigate the destruction. Without the relay looming over all, maybe the island can finally recover. Lon knows it's seen enough.
Is it me anyway? Need something, Commander? Oh, yeah? What's needed? Anyway. Need something, Commander?
Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? Inform me. That auto-mechanicals would fall in the camp's defense is logical. That there would only be one is not. Did you notice anything interesting about it? Then it was fighting blind. Doesn't seem like something a defensive automech should be doing. Did you have anything else? You're certain you've combed the place to your liking? Then let us debrief and see if we can deduce what transpired here. Have you any theories as to what killed these people? Although I'm no ballistics expert, the death wounds on the corpses appear to match those inflicted by an automech. Have any theories about the automechs that did this? My thoughts exactly. How do you believe they were compromised? I may have a strong theory, but I do not have a definitive answer. Indulge me. How do you think the mechanicals were corrupted? It's too convenient. I submit that the refugees predominantly used the local shortwave tower to control their automechs. The saboteur commandeered it and sent out an override. The only remaining puzzle piece is why. Why go through all this trouble to eliminate a handful of isolated refugees? Agreed. I do believe that relay is of Protectorate make, and the refugees most certainly didn't build it themselves. They were likely Protectorate as well. I hypothesize that they used it to listen in on Protectorate communications, then sold what they learned to Sub Rosa. After the Vox Relay's recent destruction, High Command would have ordered a security sweep of all communication systems. This outpost's relay would have returned a signal. Upon learning of this camp's existence, they'd have dispatched a sentinel to cross off any would-be traitors. Hence the destruction we bear witness to. I do pride myself on my thoroughness indeed, though not all arbiters feel the need to be equally thorough. Now with that finished, Hold. Some things approach. Be ready. I suspect someone has disapproved of our inquiry.
Let me know when
the
you need
machines
a stretch.
return, bent on eliminating any stragglers. Go on! That was a hardy engagement. You held your own admirably. These automechs will never be used to perpetrate such heinous acts again. I believe we're at the end of our investigation. The prospect of sharing our findings with the broker isn't terribly appealing, but we've little choice. I will locate my wretched Sub Rosa transport and return to Free Market Station. Pleasure fighting beside you. Be sure you return to Free Market Station to debrief with me. Despite our work here, I somehow doubt the broker would grant an audience to me alone.
Greetings again. Hope that little day excursion you and I jawed about is going well. Libations or information? What's your poison?
The encampment had been razed. I'm sorry to say there were no survivors, but I believe we were able to uncover what transpired. I should add, your observations during the investigation were unexpectedly keen. Working beside you was a pleasure.
I'm surprised. Didn't know if you had it in you, especially with an arbiter in tow. But you got what was needed. Not bad at all. I'd be happy to direct you to the broker. First, though, we've got a small issue. There's a malfunctioning lamp in the basement I need someone to take a look at. Here's a keycard to get you down there. You mind? Sharp. I like it. Thank you kindly.
Yeah, how about this? I recruited a Protectorate subject direct like from Bastion, middle of a Protectorate holding.
Think I'll congratulate you for risking your hide to recruit one subject? Forgive me for withholding my applause.
You're jealous of my charms.
Yeah, real jealous. So are the half-dozen AC ad execs I recruited last week. We're all just vomitous with envy.
Anyone had asked me, I had to put the odds of a live arbiter finding his way into my chambers at 1 in a few trillion. Good that you didn't come here for blood, Arbiter Rao. Barney would have sniffed it out and broken you in twain. And I do disdain mopping up Protectorate corpses. My apologies. Barney is sometimes overzealous in the guarding of my body, though when it comes to Protectorate arbiters, it is perhaps warranted.
If you know who I am, you must know why I'm here. My mentor died under vague circumstances, and I desire any information pertaining to the specifics of her death.
Interesting. That question appears to be at odds with High Command's public statement on the matter. Losing faith in your masters?
No. But I cannot shake the sensation that something was awry with her passing. If you know something, tell me. Please.
I could get used to this kind of groveling. Your instincts are right, Arbiter. Though we don't know the specifics, I received information that your mentor's body bore signs of a fight, and a nasty one. Someone killed her.
I shall in time, when fewer prying ears abound.
If that's all, I think you'd best get along. I prefer not to sully my quarters with Protectorate lackeys. Live ones, anyhow.
And I prefer to limit my time with scheming blackguards. Let us take our leave from present company. Speak to me outside, if you would. There's something I'd care to ask you.
Run along now. I've spent more than enough time entertaining wayward sprats.
The role of the Arbiter typically does not require the assistance of others. We are expected to act as wholly independent entities. But I fully realize that had I not your aid today, my investigation's progress would have stalled and withered. During our investigation, I gauged your trustworthiness and did not find it wanting. What say we travel together? I think you have earned forthrightness. I came to Free Market Station to seek the true killer of my mentor, the Supreme Arbiter. Sub Rosa deals in information, and were thusly my best lead on her killer. They gave me less than I'd hoped, but it was at least a start. Unfortunately, I cannot act truly alone. I have no ship, and no support. My colleagues have accepted that her death was a natural one. Questioning an explanation of that nature is foolish, dangerous even. Nonetheless, the circumstances of her death trouble me. I cannot allow myself to accept the explanation that's been put forth without investigating to the fullest of my abilities. I do not know your allegiance, and accordingly shall not speculate. Suffice it to say, for now, that I fear the true killer is within the Protectorate. Utilizing one of our craft for independent purposes would have rendered me conspicuous. I knew Sub Rosa would offer steady transport as long as I paid their exorbitant fees, just as I knew they would collect information on my every movement. But I neither trust them nor have the funds to continue this relationship for much longer. You, on the other hand, have proven to be a capable partner. I hold my word in highest regard. Were I to pledge allegiance to you, the pact would be nigh unbreakable, barring some extreme action on your part. I will keep to my convictions in any case, but I understand. What instructions would you have me follow? Ah, I should have considered this eventuality. I will listen to your words, and I shall follow your orders. I will not assail enemies of the Protectorate without your consent, though I will not like it. But if my sense of duty outpaces my willingness to comply with an order, or if you attack my brethren unprovoked, our relationship will come to an abrupt end. Excellent. I hope our working relationship is most fruitful. I'm sure we shall discover much together.
Fine. But if this uptight tin can swings that hammer anywhere near me, there's gonna be trouble. I was afraid of this. Remember to duck if he starts swinging, all right?
Let us be off, Commander.
A determined order to the entire universe. Welcome. Have you come to bask in the Order's knowledge?
1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced. Well, if the Archivist said so, I suppose I can factor out a moment. As the assigned provisioner, I am responsible for coordinating the requisition and distribution of comestibles, medicinals, and miscellaneous vital supplies. The overwhelming majority of my time is dedicated to this, leaving only moments to see to the Order's needs in the settlement. But it is an effort I undertake with great relish. You may not have noticed, but the refugees do not want for food or medicine. With the great disruption that has occurred to their lives, one can hardly blame them. That they are fed and remain healthy is sufficient for me. The Order of the Ascendant is dedicated to the ascension of humanity. Our ultimate goal may not be reached in our lifetime. If I can help others in need today, I shall do so to the utmost extent of my abilities and resources. Appreciate you respecting my time.
What is it? I have 15 seconds of allotted time for non-specific discourse, so choose your words with expediency. Oh, don't tell me. You're here on behalf of the voice of the displaced, aren't you? Mathematical predictions always keep us one step ahead. My latest augury noted that a stranger would come bearing an inconvenient message. This is about the exclusion zone, correct? Or that it only that simple, but she ignores essential variables of the equation. You see, the seer predicted that a calamity would befall the exclusion zone, warning that the barrier must not be crossed. But the ever-disruptive voice of the displaced is dead set on occupying the exclusion zone anyway, laughing in the face of certain peril. We don't know, and therein lies the frustration. The seer has augured death for anyone who enters the exclusion zone. Yes, you heard me right. Death. Furthermore, and I quote, "An outside mediator, having earned the confidence of both sides, has a high likelihood of clearing up an ongoing dispute." And now the voice has involved you. How auspicious. Perhaps you are the outside mediator who was foretold. The first step is to familiarize yourself with every angle of the dispute. Talk to the people of Matriarch's Mercy. The displaced want the exclusion zone. We want it kept off limits. We can't both be right. With your seasoned perspective, perhaps the voice of the displaced will learn to listen. Any questions before you get started? I can tell you she's a rabble-rouser of the highest order. Still, she cleaves to her principles. That's something. You can find her outside, among her people, stubbornly defying an order barricade. But you already knew that. Novice Seer Vicarage should have ample time to illuminate you on the Order's forecast modeling methods. He's just down the room from here. According to predictions, yes. Or at least, my interpretation of them. I am reasonably certain. More than usual, in fact. Many people around camp support or object to our methods. Speak to them, form your own opinion, and when you are ready, we will decide the fate of the exclusion zone. Scienticians around the settlement inform me you've made some inquiries. Good, good. Continue poking around further, though. You must earn both sides' trust, you know. Have you spoken to all representatives of the Order? All of the displaced? The Doctor? The questionable types from Sub Rosa? Investigated the containers? If not, do. Well then, if you need me in the meantime, I'll be here, up to my ocular organs and requests. Good. Check in with me once you've made significant progress. As with probability, there is an art to mediation, and it requires a well-rounded perspective. Besides what I've already told you, to put it gently, disorganized, which is irregular for a group that prides itself on mathematical acumen. But with effort, patience, and collaboration, I am confident that Matriarch's Mercy will soon be a haven for the displaced.
By the Lord, it's you.
Oh, thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help. Forgive me. I had almost lost hope of seeing you in the flesh. You see, the Seers are members of the Order who labor over the universal equation. Even in its unfinished state, the equation gives them the means to predict the future. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are, a dashing outsider standing before me. Strictly speaking, it isn't. Not yet. But the math is very, very, very good at predicting what is probably most likely extremely possible. In theory. Within a margin of error. Anyway, that is the Seer's business. My business is the health and welfare of this camp. Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's Mercy, and I have but 2 imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the Seer predicted an outsider would find them. You also strike me as someone on the go. I need committed medical employees, not a freelancer. The Seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. How can I be of service? As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out. Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all. Welcome back. Any luck enlisting help?
You're right. The universe does not orient itself toward fairness. But it's my firm belief humanity can do better.
All evidence to the contrary.
Appreciate you.
I pleasantly anticipated this exact moment. My personalized order prediction and weekly prognostics report both mentioned encountering an unforeseen factor about now. I suppose that designation doesn't wholly apply to you, though, does it? Predicting future events is an imprecise science. Currently, that is. Well, then, I read that you'd have questions about our predictive methods, correct? We utilize a mix of proprietary research methods to gather as complete a data set as possible and advanced calculations using well-honed models to effectuate it. None of us predict events with complete accuracy or absolute detail. We'd need to solve the universal equation to do that. Fortunately, we're all working very hard on that problem. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions to help steer our followers' paths. The Department of Predictive Analysis is mainly populated by seers like myself, who represent the Order's most talented mathematicians. After years of study, some can predict events a few seconds or minutes into the future with reasonable precision. Others can estimate with up to 71.1% accuracy several months out. Of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive, but I am not to speak of that with an outsider. No offense. Unforeseen factors, random elements, anomalous outliers, incalculable variables, all of them can undercut the accuracy of our predictions. But as we close in on solving the universal equation, unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. Then finally, known knowns. You follow? Matriarch's mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But we of the Order rise to every challenge and continually strive to better our guests' existence. Why, I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area. I share the very same surprise. Engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly. One of our recent guests, Rollo Nast, has received multiple personalized order predictions. I believe he could speak to the effectiveness of our ways firsthand. If my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you, and perhaps other members of the displaced as well. True, my situation does lack a certain refinement. Regrettably, this is Matriarch's mercy. We all must do the best we can with limited means. Well, I do believe you're needed elsewhere. Farewell. I'd offer a personalized order prediction, but with my current backlog, your future would have come and gone.
Yes. Fair.
The meaning of life is numeric. And by calculating the position of every atom in the
What happened to
universe,
this place?
we can predict the future.
Law.
Control
Matriarch's mercy is no safer than the...
I suppose I can give you the time of day.
Oh, my noggin sure is sore.
Hey, you're okay in my book.
Don't do anything foolish. Step right up. What fine contraband might...
Don't make me call Mapother and Mudge over. They don't like manipulation for free.
Ow.
Oh, a visitor. Without notice. Hello.
You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order projection. I mean, prediction. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to in some, roundabout fashion. Suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good. I'll say, I try not to make any big plans until I consult my latest POP. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rolo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one. As a laugh, everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Fortunately, I still had that brain case on. Sure, but I've had 9 POPs so far, and at least 3 times something similar happened. Avoided drowning in a culvert, sidestepped my mantisaur allergy. Forget the other. Things like that just illustrate the fragile nature of human existence, especially here in Golden Ridge. My co-occupant Ike had a POP done, had told him avoid liquids for 48 hours. He ignored it. Later got drunk, passed out, drowned face first in a puddle of water. You did catch the part I said they'd save my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. That's something you can take to the bank, Figuratively speaking. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them. But I'm not complaining too loud. Waited for my latest POPs long enough already. Anybody needs me, I'll be right here patiently awaiting my latest personalized order prediction.
Oh. Administrant Agarwal. Here to finally hash this out, are you? Thought this day would never come.
Yes, well, our esteemed outsider here has agreed to thoroughly appraise our situation, in the hope that we may finally close the book on the exclusion zone once and for all.
They say you asked around. Listen to folks. That's a good start, at least.
The seer predicted imminent danger to the exclusion zone. In the interest of safety, the displaced must leave.
Well, the displaced are the ones taking that risk, on the grounds the predictions can be false.
The displaced are under the Order's care, and the Order should decide what is best for them. Hence why we need the help of an outsider. Mediator, I leave the fate of the exclusion zone in your capable hands. Speak on, then.
You actually got the Provisioner to give you the time of day. Huh.
Ah, yes. I sometimes forget Provisioner Plotnik is also assigned to minding the displaced's needs. Her role is largely proactive, while mine is reactive.
If the Provisioner's booked up, I say redeploy another egghead at the matter.
It's less of an issue of personnel as it is of safety. Contrary to your assumptions, we do care about your collective and individual well-being.
Did he also happen to mention they were needlessly oblique and vague?
But our predictions are given to inform and protect, not to frighten. Forgive me. I do not mean to disrupt.
You mean that missionary type who's always talking at everybody instead of to them?
Mathematics is the hidden language of the universe which unites us all. The closer we come to understanding it, the closer we come to true understanding.
I haven't heard that much sugarcoating outside of an Auntie's suppository ad. But fine. Whatever you say. I'm all ears, Mediator.
The what now?
When grievances between the displaced approach fisticuffs, we hire Sub Rosa hooligans to duke things out for us.
That is unquantifiably absurd, and I don't see how moving into the exclusion zone will help. Unproductive is one thing. Paid Donnybrooks with surrogate fighters is... well, I'm at a loss for an applicative metaphor to describe it. I understand he is rather short-handed.
Yeah. Someone should get right on that, huh? Anyhow, what was the good doctor's diagnosis? At Auntie's Choice, we'd view this from a lens of how sickness undercuts productivity.
That is indeed unfortunate, but the dangers predicted for the exclusion zone may outweigh these concerns. Collapsed, but we built Matriarch's Mercy to optimize comfort and safety.
I'm guessing you're saying this wasn't an official structure, more of a hastily assembled, precariously built shanty. People are struggling to make do with what they have. If we had the exclusion zone, this wouldn't be a problem.
I'm aghast these structures weren't built following established order construction guidelines. By my calculations, you've explored this topic from every conceivable angle. Admirable work, Mediator. I suspect that your sympathies lie with the displaced. Unfortunate if true, but I leave the decision in your capable hands. Well, if this is the fate that was augured, then I will not complain, though it goes against my very nature. Please, be safe. That's all I ask.
Not to worry, Administrant. The exclusion zone is our problem now. Here, you stay out of trouble. We'll try and do the same. Thanks again, stranger. The Order won't scare us off that easily.
Just hope we've done the right thing.
Refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation...
No, it's not. Ugh. You ever cough so hard your ankles hurt? I'll try not to sneeze on you, but no promises. Law, finally. Real relief for my fake symptoms. Let's see it then. Well, ain't this healthcare in a nutshell? If it's bits you want, you can partake of what I scrounged together on account of folks taking pity on me. You have my gratitude, stranger.
What? And you think that's me? Listen, friend, a little skill with needle and thread does not make me a qualified medical professional. Am I supposed to find that encouraging? Have it your way, then. I know when I'm being voluntold. But you better make it worth my while. Before I agree to anything, I need sprat corpses. Several. And no victims of violence, please. My art depends on the quality of the sleeve. I used to source all of my sprats from a local trapper, Frankie Billings. No idea if she's still in business. Word has it she's out north in Auntie's Choice territory, so watch yourself. Fresh being the operative word. My thanks, stranger. Any luck with the sprat hunt?
Error. Navigation systems offline. Unable to locate designated paths. Greetings. This unit is unable to fulfill its programming. Are you able to assist this unit in its assigned duties? This unit is unable to execute its programming due to tampering. Navigational and other systems have been compromised. This unit is now being used as a target, which is not among its designated functions. This unit must return to Matriarch's Mercy to dispense medical care in order to fulfill its programming. Navigation systems re-initializing. Processing optimal path toward Matriarch's Mercy. Return sequence will be initiated once path is determined. Clarification of purpose confirmed. This unit will arrive at its destination with 0.02% higher efficiency. Thank you, qualified engineer.
personnel approaching. They don't appear to be hostile.
Don't forget to clean your ship's toilet inside and out. Zero-G clogs are as stubborn as they are smelly. Now, what can the pipe doctor do for you? You mean you want the pipe doctor to practice real medicine? On real people? Why, this is the greatest day of my life. The human gut is the most compact and efficient sewer system ever. A plumber's dream. My dream. But don't get me wrong, it would be an honor. I'm just not sure that I'm ready for that kind of challenge. You really think so? Very well. Sometimes it takes a plumber to do a doctor's job. If Matriarch's Mercy cries out in need, then the pipe doctor will answer. See you there, friend.
You lost, stranger? I don't see a lot of new faces in these parts. What are you? Order? Protectorate? Anti? Really? An Earth Directorate agent? I have no idea what that is, but okay. Me? I'm a Sprat Trapper. Cute little things, but their tallow and hides fetch a high price. Used to be Protectorate, then worked for the Order, then Anti. Whoever's calling the shots on a given day. Now, I'm just waiting for the dust to settle so I can find out who I work for tomorrow. Gregory? Well, I'm glad to hear he's still kicking. Loyal customer. Very particular about his sprats. These being hard times, I've had to raise my prices. Gal's gotta eat, and I don't care for sprat meat. No, that was me. I was enjoying a bottle a little too much and spilled it. Not to worry, I cleaned off the sprats. Hypothetically, if you happen to be weighed down by a bottle of prestige brandy, I'd be more than happy to take it off your hands. Hey, these are premium sprats. But damn it, I can't have anyone spreading word that my sprats are inferior quality. That'd follow me forever. Go on, take them. Let's just keep this between us. We're done here. Shove off.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Any luck with the sprat hunt? Decent quality, all things considered. Frankie's work is second to none. You can tell the good doctor I'll be around shortly, armed with needle and thread, calipers, and my finest jar of glass eyes. No, thank you. It's always a pleasure to bring passion to one's work, even when that passion is a tad morbid. Be seeing you, Agent.
Ruth Bassar is the first among equals of the Laureate Council. She will raise humanity to perfection.
When I asked the seer for medical specialists, a plumber was not what I had in mind. Trust in the Order to think outside of the box. Take this. On behalf of the Order and the displaced, I thank you. Now, will there be anything else? Thanks to you, our automechanical doctor has been dispensing medication and setting broken limbs with tireless efficiency. Here, you've earned it. Now, will there be anything else? From a medical standpoint, the taxidermist doctor was an unconventional choice. But I can't deny the results. A little token of my appreciation for a job well done. Now, will there be anything else? How can I be of service?
Who knew taxidermy and surgery were so alike?
How about that? Me, a real doctor and everything.
you must be the, Earth Directorate agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability? Sensible. Straight to business, then. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge? Since losing access to the archive, the Order has been forced to limit its open exchange of ideas and information to avoid contaminating what few predictions we can still make. The archive is a vast network of computational machines built beneath the ice of Cloister. Prior to the invasion, the Order used it to generate predictions on a vast scale. But listen to me prattling on. I'm sure you aren't here for a history lesson. Victor? Oh, yes, Archivist Clemens. Quite the mind. Such encyclopedic knowledge of engineering. One could almost mistake him for an exemplar. Is he in some kind of trouble?
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse. And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the Enray Range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Zeranium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Indeed, they began showing up with their inane theories prior to the invasion. The first sign of dysfunction in the Protectorate. Always starts small, doesn't it? Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Choosing levity at a moment like this is only further evidence of your lack of good judgment.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend, but the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. Most assuredly not. It would eliminate the entire point of the ceasefire. Please convey that fact to whomever you speak with. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings. Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will.
A calling for those with a greater than average talent for mathematics and computation, particularly in the field of predictive analysis. Yes.
Seer Wiley is being too modest about his contributions. Many in the Order rely on seers for their indispensable counsel. I myself would be lost without mine. Oh, indeed. I needn't educate you on what you can see with your very eyes. There is a great deal of pressure on me to navigate what is a rather novel situation. Without Wiley, I dare say our predicament here would be even more precarious. Many lives depend on him, on us both. Why, Matriarch's Mercy would not be the refuge it is without his predictions shepherding its development. Not if you consider the alternative. Its absence would be far more catastrophic for these poor refugees. Really, the Order is being quite charitable. That is a statue of the Matriarch, Alexandra Varick, Arcadia's founder and for whom the monastery was named after. Regrettably, Alexandra Monastery is closed to non-Order members at the moment, given recent troubles. But perhaps Seer Wiley can give us an estimation of its reopening.
Oh, certainly. According to my calculations, the monastery will be accessible to certain members of the public shortly.
Ha! Good news indeed. Oh, you really must visit. The observatory is a true sight to behold. I communicated your prediction to Administrator Agarwal. I'm not sure why she's budged on letting the refugees move into the exclusion zone, but I agree. Very worrying indeed. Anything I can do to assist you? Oh, of course. What would you like to discuss? Apart from providing them sustenance, shelter, and scientific ministry, you mean? Need I remind you, Arcadia is at war. This is what war looks like, I'm afraid. The Order is operating within a very reasonable framework to provide as much aid as it can. Alexandra Monastery is a place of sacred study, advancing our understanding of the plan. We cannot jeopardize that vital work all for the comfort of a few. I haven't the wish to debate you on this any further. Please, let us move on to less controversial topics. Yes, what have you discussed? No, anything I can do to assist you? Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will. Rift worshippers spouting inane theories. They began showing up prior to the invasion. The first sign of dysfunction in the Protectorate always starts small, doesn't it?
Speak to Abbot Newell if you've more queries.